Hello everyone, and welcome to my Forever in Motion exercise class. I'm kind of being a little bit sneaky here again and not doing it live. I'm pre-recording it. And again today, I am going to try for that 45-minute class. We'll see if I can stick to that today. What you're going to need for today's class, same as always, what I get you to get is the tubing or exercise band, a sturdy chair, good pair of running shoes, and your water bottle. If you've got all those things, you are good to go. If not, you can grab them quickly while I give a few more instructions. So we're just going to start out with just a regular march. Posture, you want those shoulders back and down. Your core is engaged, so you're bracing your stomach nice and tight as though someone's going to give you a playful punch in the stomach. And you're either standing up nice and tall or sitting up nice and tall, chest up always. So it's as though you are showing off a new necklace or a new bow tie, just standing up nice and proud. All right, as far as the water bottle, make sure that you stop for a drink of water anytime you need. You don't need to wait for me to tell you it's time for a drink. Important to stay hydrated. Helps to regulate body temperature, makes for a safer workout, and it also helps to prevent cramps. So with that whole long mouthful, let's take the legs wide and arms crossing the midline, which is also great for the brain. And as always, working at your own pace. So if at any point you're feeling pain, discomfort, or like you're overexerting yourself, make sure that you stop, slow down, or adapt whatever you're doing, because we always want it to be a safe class. Okay, so we've done the narrow, we've done the wide. How about we combine those? So wide, wide, narrow, narrow, wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Keep going with that. Keep the arms moving. We want to warm up upper body and lower body. So it's been kind of an interesting morning for me already, dealing with a couple different power outages. And so that's part of the reason why I'm pre-recording, to see if we can get through a class without a power outage and having to deal with something happening here. Okay, so take note of which leg you're initiating the movement here. And I am just going to tap down and then switch which leg I'm starting with. So we're still doing the wide, wide, narrow, narrow, but as always, you want to, if you're starting with one side, at some point you want to switch and start with the other side. Okay, let's keep those legs wide and start to lift those knees a little bit higher if that works for you. If not, totally fine. Just stick with just the lower knee. Remember, this class is for you. Do what works for you. Listen to your body. And let's bring those legs back in. So just a nice, easy march for a little bit here. Okay. Feel free to grab a drink of water. I am going to grab a quick drink of water here. All right, so taking this to, how about let's do a heel dig. So heel down, toe pointing up. Let's do a bicep curl with that. So both arms. And we can mix that up a little bit. How about let's go opposite arm, opposite leg. And let's switch that up. Let's do same arm, same leg. Feel free to slow it down if I'm going too fast for you, or if you're wanting to get going a little bit harder already and have the mobility and ability to do so, please feel free to go ahead. Okay, and let's just take that back to a regular march in 4, 3, 2, last one, and just back to a regular march. All right, next up, we are going to tap to the side. So I'm going to start off with my left, and again, I don't recall whether doing just a regular video if my left is what you're seeing in the video. So starting out with this leg, left for me, tapping out to the side. And let's just get the legs going, and we will, once you're comfortable with that, add in the arms. Same thing if you're doing it seated. Make sure you're still standing up nice and tall or sitting up nice and tall. And to switch this one up a little bit, keep the legs going out side to side. And this time, let's do opposite. The arms are going to the opposite side as where you're tapping out. And switching that up again in 4, 3, 2, last one, and back to regular march. Okay, next up, we are going to be tapping back. So just starting with just tapping back behind you. Just a simple little tap. And once you've got that down packed, not a big deal, press back with those hands. Keep those shoulders back. Core is still engaged. And how about, let's see, how can we switch this one up? Let's cross front and back with the hands. And 4, 3, 2, last one, and we'll take it back to just a regular march. All right, so now what I'd like to do with you is kind of combine all of those. So we're going to start out by doing 4 of each. So it'll be 2 on each leg, and then we'll take it down to 2. So 1 on each leg, and then we'll take it down to singles, and that'll kind of be our cool down, because it would be way too confusing and difficult to try and do that at a quicker pace. All right, so this is what I've got happening in my head. We'll see how it pans out for today's class. So starting out with our heel digs, and we're going for 4. So I'm going to start counting these out. I probably will count out the whole thing just so that I can keep on pace and on track, and it should make things easier for you too. All right, so heel dig, and I'm going to start out. Let's start out with our left. Again, my left, whatever it is for you. So heel dig, that's 4, 3, 2, 1, to the side, 4, 3, 2, 1, to the back, 4, 3, 2, 1, heel dig, 4, 3, 2, 1, side, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, back, 4, 3, 2, 1, keep going, heel dig, 3, 2, 1, left, 3, 2, 1, back, 3, 2, 1, one more time, heel dig, 3, 2, 1. Left, 3, 2. I kind of think I screwed that one up. Back, 3, 2, 1. And let's just do a little bit of a march in between here. Okay, so that was 4 of each. Let's take it down to 2 of each. So 1 on each leg. Okay, let's see how this goes. So again, we'll start out with my left, whatever it is for you. So 2, 1, to the left, 2, 1, to the back, 2, 1. Heel dig, 2, 1. Left, 1, back. There we go. How's that going? So far, I think I am doing okay with it. I don't think I've messed up quite yet. I don't think I should say that though, because I'm going to jinx myself. Feel free to speed it up if you're feeling like you have it in you, or to slow it down more if you need. Almost there. Let's do 1 more of that. And then after this, we're going to take it back to just our regular march. Okay, now I really should have looked at what time it was when I started. Looks like we are at 12 minutes. Okay, so what we are going to do next is take it down to singles. Let's see how this works. So we will be switching. It'll be different legs for each move, kind of. You'll see what I mean once we get going. So starting out with our left, so it's going to be 1 to the front, and then to this 1 to the side, 1 to the back, and then it'll be the opposite legs that we're using for the next front, side, back. Okay, now I know that totally makes sense to you, right? Well, it does in my head. Anyway, starting out left, and then of course we're going to have to go to this side, toe, and then the leg that went to the front before, that's the one that's going to be going back again. So heel dig, and then the opposite side is doing to the side, and then opposite side is going to be going back again, the same one that you started with to go to the front. Okay, let's see. Ooh, what do you think? I'm a little nervous. We'll see how long I can go without messing up. I try my best to come up with different things to give you, for different ideas to use in your classes, and even just to mix it up for our sake when we're doing the class, to have a little bit of fun with it. It's important to have a little bit of fun with your classes. Keeps people coming back, hopefully. If nothing else, it makes the time go a little bit faster. And let's do 1 more. And then we're going to get into a regular march here. And we're just kind of slowing it down a little bit. We will get into our strength training. I am hoping, like I said, to keep this to a 45-minute class today. All right, grab another drink of water if you like. And grab your exercise band. So your chair, you're going to need that this time around for this one. Sitting to the front of your chair, we are going to start with the back row. So heels down, wrap the band around the bottom of your feet, kind of point your toes a little bit. Have the hands, make sure you've got resistance in the band when your hands are on your legs. So your hands should be fairly close to your knees, actually on your thighs. You're sitting up nice and tall, core is engaged, shoulders back and down. And let's take a breath in and exhale as you are pulling that back. Inhale as you release. I know it sounds and feels like we are doing the opposite of what you want to do, what it feels natural to do. But in order for our muscles to actually have the oxygen when they need it to do the work, you need to take a breath when they're not working, if that makes sense. Okay, we'll do a few more here. And last one. There we go. All right. Next up, I would like to do a chest press with you. So we don't need the chair for this one. Chest press, you are taking that band, wrap that around behind you. Unless, of course, you are doing it seated so that you can add the extra tension by having the band wrapped around the back of the chair. That's an option for you too, if you like. So if you're doing this standing, your feet are about shoulder width apart, core is engaged as always, and let's start out with that football goal post. Your arms are up like that, and just take the hands forward, keeping your elbows back so that you're looking kind of like how I'm looking on there, and your wrists are in front of your elbows. Take a breath in and exhale as you're bringing those hands forward and together. So again, keeping that core engaged and going the same speed forward and back so that we are using our muscles both directions. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed and your elbows up rather than sagging down. You want to keep those wrists in line with your elbows and make sure that you're bringing those elbows far enough back so that your hands should not be more in towards your chest. They should be back out and kind of parallel to your body, if that makes sense. Okay, we'll do a few more of these. Make sure you're keeping those elbows up. Last two. And last one. There we go. All right, give those shoulders a bit of a shake. For our chest exercise, what we are going to do, sorry, that was the chest exercise. For our other back exercise, I told you it's been a rough morning with the power outages. My brain's not quite all here. And so that's my excuse for today. Anyway, next back exercise is our back squeeze. So you have your band, you're grabbing onto it so that your index fingers are fairly close together. If you kind of want to save on your band a little bit, maybe grab in different areas of the band each time you're using it, if that's an option. Okay, so your index fingers are fairly close together. Standing up nice and tall, chest is up nice and proud, core is engaged. Your hands are about chest height. Take a breath in and exhale as you are pulling those arms apart, and exhale as you are pulling the arms apart. Inhale as you release. I started thinking of something different while I was saying that, kind of distracted myself. Kind of getting ahead of myself with what I'm thinking and saying. So nice, slow, and controlled. Again, you are going the same speed, both directions. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and together, kind of back and together, back and down. That's what I want to say. And let's do a couple more. And last one. There we go. Give those shoulders a shake. For our bicep and shoulder exercise, I kind of thought we will combine those today a little bit. So I'll get you to stand on your band. If your band's a little bit on the shorter side, feel free to just stand on one or do one arm at a time. So what we are going to do is combining a bicep curl with a lateral raise. So let's start out again with all the same instructions there. Your shoulders are back and down, you're standing up, chest is up nice and proud, core engaged, slight bend to your knees. Don't ever lock your knees or any of the joints. All right, taking a breath in and exhale with that bicep curl, bringing the hands up. And you want to keep the elbows fairly close to your sides as though you are holding a newspaper under your arms and you don't want to drop it. Okay, so then turn your hands to the front and let's go for that lateral raise right away. Okay, hands back down, turning palms in. Let's do a bicep curl. And down, palms forward, lateral raise. Bringing those arms up to about shoulder height. Palms in, bicep curl, slow and controlled, palms forward, lateral raise. Only as high, I say shoulder height, but only as high as you can comfortably. It is different when you are doing it with a band as opposed to weights. Much easier to do it with weights because the weight doesn't get any heavier the higher you lift it, but the band sure gets more resistance the higher you lift it. So again, do what works for you. Only lift out as high as what works for you. Once you start losing your form, then you know you've gone too far. If you're doing that, then you are more likely to risk injury and you're not necessarily targeting the muscles that you want to target. You might kind of make some strange posture or form trying to compensate for what you're wanting to do. So not worth it. Sooner stop before you've completed the desired number of repetitions rather than lose your form. So having said that, let's do one more if you still have it in you. If not, I hope that you stopped when you needed to. There. And let's just give that a little bit of a shake. You can step off your band. All right, next up is our tricep extension. So grabbing the band in your left hand, throw it over your right shoulder, keep that one there. So just always remembering that the hand that is holding the band always goes to the opposite side of your neck. Okay, that stays there, does not move. With your other hand, grab on, in my case, it is my right hand. And let's take it up to the front this time. I never do this one. Okay, so keeping that arm fairly close to your side again, I'm just going to extend that out and bring it back in. Kind of like, I guess, if you were playing a trombone. I don't know, any of you play trombone? I've tried it a couple times as a student in high school, so about 100 years ago. Nice, slow and controlled. Don't let the band bring it back, bring your arm back any faster. You are controlling this. So we're working our muscles both ways. And let's do two more. See where I'm at for time. I think I'm doing pretty good today so far. Okay, shaking that out, grab it in your right hand or the opposite one of whatever you just did. And put that across your shoulder, grabbing on with your left hand, just a little bit down. If you want to increase the resistance, have your hands closer together. If you want to make it easier, have your hands further apart. Another way of increasing the resistance is to double up your band and then dry it that way. Okay, so taking a breath in and exhale. Inhale as you release. Exhale as you are doing the work. Woo, did you hear my, my arm crack with that one? Slow and controlled. Well, it's not too bad. I should have maybe switched and challenged myself more with that first arm. Okay, couple more. And last one. Okay, shaking it out. Normally you want to do the same weight, same resistance on both sides so that you're equal. Sake of time, I'm not going to do this now. And next step, let's see, triceps. Let's do our core. So grab your chair, and I'm going to grab a drink of water. Feel free to grab a drink of water. We are going to do our seated crunch. So you are again sitting up nice and tall to the front of your chair, towards the front of your chair, and your feet are nice and firmly planted. A few different options. You could have your hands on your thighs, you could have your hands across your chest, or you could have your fingertips just kind of behind your ears. It's just kind of there to give you extra leverage, make it a little bit more challenging. You do whatever option works for you, or feel free to switch during. All right, so for my sake, I am going to have my hands across my chest. So taking a breath in and exhale as you go back, and just nice, slow and controlled, both directions again. And having said the part about the breathing, to take a breath in and then exhale as you're going back, this is one of those exercises where some people find it harder going back, and some people find it harder to let they're doing the work phase when they're coming forward. So what we normally say then is just make sure you're not holding your breath. You can exhale while you're going back or exhale while you're coming up. Just make sure you're not holding your breath. That is the worst thing you could do. And also make sure that you are keeping your eyes on the horizon, kind of as though you have an orange tucked under your chin and you don't want to drop that orange. If you are taking your head back with your body each time, that's going to get kind of hard on your neck. You don't want to do that. Let's do a couple more. And last one. All right, stopping that there. Let's do some squats. So what I would like you to do is, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Grab your band. We are going to do squats with the band today. So grab the band, stand on it. Make sure you have, I want you to squat down a little bit, have resistance on the band when you are in that little squat position. Still try and keep your knees back. Don't take them beyond your toes, your usual squat position. And we are going to stand up. So it's just kind of sitting back as though you are going to sit down, your usual squat, and then pressing down through the heels and standing back up like you normally do, but this time we are doing it with the extra resistance of the band. If you're finding that too tough or too confusing, feel free to do it without the band. If you're not feeling like you're getting anything extra out of it, feel free to cinch up a little bit more on the band to give yourself more resistance. So you are keeping that chest up, pressing down through the heels when you're coming back up and squeezing those glute muscles together. Oh my goodness, am I tongue-tied today, more so than usual. Okay. And we'll do a few more of those. And how about last one here? Good, shake that out a little bit. So next up, I would like to do the hip abduction. So that's taking your leg out to the side. And this one I'd like to do with the band today as well. One thing I forgot to mention, that chair, we always recommend that you have it in front of you. Oh my gosh, how did I forget to tell you this? Have the chair in front of you. You're holding on with either both hands, one hand, fingertips, or hands just hovering above the chair, whatever you need. So that chair isn't there just to sit on, it's there for whatever level of support you need. With this one, because we're going to be pressing out against the band, would be a good time to have that the chair in front of you in case you lose your balance, because it is a little bit more challenging. So if you haven't been behind your chair up till now, I recommend you do get behind that chair in case you need to grab on. So just kind of pressing up to the side. So this is working our hip abductor muscles. Those are the muscles that help us with things like getting in and out of a vehicle, or getting in and out of bed, or getting up and away from the table when you've been sitting and eating. One thing I want to make sure that you're doing here is that you are leading with your heel, as we always mention, maybe even a little bit pigeon-toed. Okay, so that's when you are going to target those muscles and get the most out of that exercise. Still make sure that you're standing up nice and tall. This is just kind of adding some extra resistance. If you are doing it seated, feel free to just kind of wrap that around your thighs, and then you're getting the extra resistance that way. If you're doing it standing, keep going with what I was showing you. If you're doing it seated, it's just a matter of taking that leg out to the side and then back in, out and back in. Make sure that, I'm going to try and change the angle here so that I can demonstrate it more, hoping you can see it better this way. You want to make sure that you're keeping the ankle below your knee when you are doing the seated version of this. Don't cheat and just take the leg out like that, because then you're not going to get as much out of it. You actually have to open up those hips and take that whole leg out to the side. I actually really like this one. Okay, I think we've probably done enough of those, and I will get you to, you can set your chair aside if you're not sitting on it for the exercises, and we will just do some hip extension. So just pressing that leg back, nice and slow and controlled. Chair is there again for whatever level of support you need. Standing up nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed, and back and down. And let's just slow this right down so that we can challenge our balance a little bit more with it at the same time. A lot of these leg exercises kind of double as strength and balance, and they become even more of a balance exercise if you are slowing them down more. Okay, so keep going with that. Take a peek at my time here. Not bad. So far so good. I just might be able to stick with that 45. Make sure you're not holding your breath with any of the exercises. Not so much with the leg exercises, but lots of times with some of the upper body exercises or with the stretching. People tend to want to hold their breath with those. So just make sure that you're breathing naturally or exhaling on exertion if you're not feeling like it's an overly large amount of exertion that you're needing to expend. Does that make sense again? All right, shake that out. And let's just finish off with our strengthening by doing some heel and toe raises. So up onto your toes and then back onto your heels, raising your toes. Again, chair is there for whatever level of support you need. Slowing it right down will challenge your balance more. If you are wobbling a little bit when you are doing this, that's actually a good sign, because that shows that you are challenging your balance. If I was holding on to the chair the whole time, I wouldn't be gaining anything from it. I'd still be strengthening my calves and my tibialis anterior, my shins, but I wouldn't be benefiting as much as far as balance goes because I wouldn't be challenging my balance. So you need to be working at a level that is challenging you, but yet still safe for you. Okay, shaking that out. I think we are there. I think we are about ready that we can start our stretches. So I am going to grab another drink of water here. Okay, sitting up nice and tall towards the front of your chair. Extend one leg out, heel down, toe pointing up, sitting up nice and tall, hinging at the hips, and just kind of leaning forward, like I said, hinging at the hips, feeling that nice stretch in your hamstring. If you're leaning on a leg for support, it is that bent leg. Make sure you've got a soft knee there. You're not locking your knee. Pull the toes more up towards your shin, and you should feel the stretch more in your calf. So because you are leaning forward to that 30 to 45 degree angle, possibly, leaning forward, let's put it that way, whatever works for you. Whichever degree of hinging you are doing, just make sure that your head, neck, and spine are still in good alignment. Okay, shake that out. Other heel down, toe pointing up, hinging at the hips. Feel a nice stretch in your hamstring. Pull the toe up more towards your shin so that you are now feeling the stretch more in your calf. All right, shaking that out a little bit. Let's go for a glute hip stretch. So either just taking that leg straight across onto the other leg, or using the other one as a ramp, kind of pulling it up that way, or even just working at whatever level works for you. As always, do what works for you. Listen to your body. So sitting up nice and tall, hinge forward at the hips, or give a gentle press on the inside of your knee, or both, whatever works for you. I love this stretch. It's one of my favorites. Feels so good. Again, just make sure that you are not holding your breath. Head, neck, and spine in good alignment. This is where you want to feel that stretch. All right, shake that out a little bit. Bring that other leg up. Let's switch. And hinging at the hips. Gentle press on the inside of your knee. Bring that up and shake it out. All right, take this over. Let's just go for a shoulder stretch. Grab on, pull it in closer. Let's do some hand circles there. Reverse the direction. Just feel a nice stretch in your shoulder area. Let's shaking that out. Bring the other arm across, grab on, pull it in closer, some hand circles, reverse direction. And shaking that out, reaching up and slightly diagonal. Give a gentle pull. We want to stretch out those obliques without curving that spine. So taking that same arm down, gentle press on your elbow or in your triceps area. This is where you want to feel the stretch for that one. Checking my time here. I think I'm going to actually even wrap it up a little bit early. Take those arms down, reaching up, gentle pull diagonally. Maintaining that nice upright posture, not compromising the spine at all while we're getting this nice stretch. Reach down between your shoulder blades, same arm, gentle press on your elbow or in your triceps area. Bringing the arms down and back. Press those shoulders back. Thumbs are up. Rotate the hands around so the thumbs are up again. Press those shoulders back. You should be feeling the stretch in your biceps. Feel free to take some nice deep breaths here and there. Rotate those thumbs back up again, bending the hands back at the wrist. Rotate around again, press those shoulders back. You should feel it more in your forearm. Nice big shoulder rolls backwards. All right, keeping your shoulders level, take one ear down to your shoulder. Opposite arm is reaching to the floor. Head back up to the center, pause there for a bit. Take your other ear to the shoulder. Opposite arm reaching towards the floor again. Feel that nice stretch. When you are stretching, you should feel a nice pull or maybe even slight mild discomfort. But if you're feeling anything more than that, especially pain, then you know you've gone too far and you need to let up a little bit. And head back to the center, shaking that out a bit. I just remembered I forgot one of my favorite stretches again too. So I am going to get you to quickly grab that chair again and one butt cheek on the chair, one off. Let's extend that one leg back. Let's stretch out the hip flexor quad. That's a really important one to stretch out. So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back. If you want to feel that stretch a little bit more intense, lean back a little bit. And let's switch around to the other side. Get that leg back as far as you can comfortably, whatever works for you. Sitting up nice and tall, core engaged, shoulders back and down, and just feel that stretch. Enjoy that. Feel it in your hips, your hip flexor, and in your quads. Feel free to lean back a little bit. All right, where are we at for time? Oh my goodness. I am doing so close. All right, so again, standing up nice and tall. Let's finish off with some deep cleansing breaths. So inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. One last time, deep breath in and exhale. And give yourselves a hand. You've done it. Thank you very much for joining me for my class today. I'm going to grab my nice little remote control, see if it still works. Thank you, like I said, for joining today. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, My name is Kereen. Feel free to leave comments below here or to contact myself or any one of us with the Forever in Motion older adult team. And have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again another time. Take care.